Hello everybody, my name is Skybound,
Starlight Flags.
and we're here, we've just got finished watching another episode of Steins Gate, episode 2.
Still what the fuck.
Still very what the fuck, you can find our reaction down below.
Slightly less what the fuck than last time.
I don't know, I think it's still kind of what the fuck.
It's still what the fuck, but at least has a coherent story to it, which you can actually follow at the moment.
So,
it seems like what's happened there is that part of the banana was teleported. So before it was inside the microwave, it actually tried to teleport but ended up back in its own place.
was it teleported though, or did it go back into a time back when it was...
Oh yeah, I suppose it could.
I'm just wondering, could it be that the banana itself travelled back in time, but something that happens during the time travel process is reducing it to that weird gel?
Yeah, it'd be it could be a malfunctioning time travelling prototype that moved it from one place to another.
But if it is time travelling, it must be a different method of time travel than Hyoin did earlier with the phone, because they remained on sort of the same timeline.
Yeah. But it just ended up going back in time, and it was almost like we went back and it was still, while they were doing stuff, it was probably there.
Yeah.
While they were doing stuff with the banana in the microwave, and if they had turned around at that point, they would have seen that banana there before they even went into looked at that microwave. Or if by the very act of going and activating that microwave, it appeared in the past behind them when they weren't looking. It's time travel. It's like, if it's based on quantum mechanics, you can't understand quantum mechanics. Like, if you think you do, you don't. It's one of those weird things.
I feel like there must be some significance.
Oh yeah, there will be.
To the time that they put in the clock.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to the time.
Because every single time they put it in, it focuses for like a second or two on the 120 that they're putting in there.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, what is the significance of that 120? Is it?
That's 2 minutes.
It's 2 minutes and seconds, but what if it's not going with seconds? What if it's... I don't know, like, is it going in the future or is it going in the past?
I have no idea.
But if it's going in the future, how is it getting back on the Vine? But if it's going in the past, why is it turning into weird gel stuff? It's still quite confusing what's going on with the microwave.
Well, I suppose, well...
In the other stuff, though, you had the new girl. I'm still struggling to remember her name. No, Kurisu. I think her name is Kurisu.
I think it was Kurisu.
She's been introduced now as not dead, which is nice, and it turns out that she's super sassy.
Super sassy and somewhat smart.
Very smart.
Not just wearing a flipping lab coat just to look smart, but actually is smart.
I have to admit, I found it quite funny that during the reaction it's just like, objection, and then just a moment later, Yuri! Objection! And also I really loved the part where she was sort of explaining why time travel was impossible to him, and just every single sentence, isn't that right? Hyoin. Just...
Yeah.
She was just nailing him, but the thing is...
It's kind of... Yeah, but she's kind of being disproven by what the fuck is happening here.
Yeah,
or at least as long as he's not insane.
It's theoretical... Like, she says it's theoretically impossible, but he's actually done it.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, like, we've already established that it doesn't matter...
Unless this isn't actually time travel and they're just pulling the wool over our eyes.
Yeah, but I think it must be time travel to some degree. Because the thing is, he could remember time travelling, but no one else could remember anything. So it's perfectly possible that she's like, it's theoretically impossible and this is why.
Well, maybe this so-called quote-unquote organisation time travelled him back because of it, moved him on to a different ley line because of, well, world line, and because of all this crap that he saw. But anyway, this is all speculation. We might as well.
I mean, the organisation thing, I don't even know if it's a real thing at the moment. It seems to be something like he's just like, the organisation has found me. You know, I think he's he's got these delusions of grandeur, like, oh, I'm such a mad scientist that clearly an organisation must be after me, you know, for my forbidden knowledge of I don't even know what I'm doing, but, you know.
If you don't know what you're doing, you don't have knowledge, so...
But yeah, I also like, I do find Mr. Brown quite funny as well. Just like, I'm going to double your rent if you don't stop fucking around. My name is Ogrid. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Landlords, they can be assholes sometimes, but most landlords that I've had to deal with aren't that bad. To be fair, I think anyone who has to have a kind of what's the word for someone who rents?
What do you mean, somebody who rents?
Like the person who rents from a landlord. What are they?
A tenant.
Tenant, that's the one. Yeah. Imagine having a tenant like him, just like you paid your rent. I am here in Cuba. Mad scientist. I just be like, I'm gonna double your rent if you don't stop fucking around. Do you have my money? You're in Cuba.
To be fair, at that point, I think even I would have said, for fuck's sake, mate. I admit to some weird stuff, but that's too like, weird for me.
This guy's just crazy.
Yeah, he's just crazy, but he's crazy, but something non-crazy and amazing has happened to the guy.
Well, no, that's the thing, because the way he acts, it would be perfectly understandable for people to not believe him at all.
Yeah.
Like, he's saying all this stuff, you know, I travelled back in time, I did, you know, we did this stuff, and they can dismiss that as, you know, the crazy ramblings of Hyo in Cuba, because, let's face it, he is just ridiculous. He's a very sort of crazy person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well...
But something is actually going on here.
Yes.
But we haven't really seen much more about how the time travel actually works yet. I feel like episode 3 is going to break into that more because they've got that Kurisu, like, came in right at the end.
Yeah.
Talking about an interesting theory. So I think with her brains, we're actually going to see a bit more about what's actually going on.
Yeah, we'll actually get to the bottom of it, I think.
In the meantime, though, it's still very, I don't know what the fuck is going on. So again, I'm going to I'm going to refrain from any sort of rating yet. But I am very interested. I enjoyed the episode, definitely. And the thing is, I do enjoy the episodes.
Oh yeah.
Just like.
But this is what we were saying about some of our other episodes of shows we've watched, especially some of MLP stuff. We actually really enjoyed the episode, even though the writing wasn't the best quality on some of the episodes.
But in this one, I don't even think there is bad writing.
No, I don't think it is. I think it isn't bad writing.
I think they're putting it together in a very interesting way. I think they're essentially trying to give you like little bits and pieces, and they want you to piece it together. And then as the story progresses,
I bet if you go back afterwards, after everything's been pieced together, you'll actually see things actually making sense of that.
Yeah. And
maybe one of these animes you have to watch multiple times to actually get it, to be fair.
Possibly. Or maybe it's just one of those things where as we go on, we'll sort of start to learn what's what. We'll start to learn what timeline was it that he warned her about some imminent danger, or that he was trying to warn her about some imminent danger. Who knows? You know, what could happen in other timelines? Could any of them die? Also,
well, it could be that it could be somebody could be another version of himself going to another timeline.
Possibly. Yeah. Also, just like to give a shout out to the trap.
Oh god.
You know, the resident trap in the anime, because of course that's the thing.
Even assassinating classroom as a trap, but again that's not that surprising nowadays. At least I think there's always at least one trap in every anime. But we haven't actually seen a trap in Her academia.
No, to be honest, traps aren't especially common in anime. At least not from the ones I've watched. And I've watched a lot.
The same here. Well, there was that one verse trap that was in Sword Art Online Alternative.
Yeah, kind of.
Was it a man who was... No, it was a female who pretended to be a bloke who was...
Yeah.
Who was actually a lesbian, and he wanted to kiss off the main character.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but I can't remember exactly.
But it's just like... what's her name? Her name. What am I saying? His name.
You see, this is what I'm talking about.
Was it like Ruko or something? Roka? It was something. It was something beginning with R. But it's just like.
No, it was her. Anyway, we're getting off track.
But yeah, interesting. I'm curious about that character as well. But apart from that, yeah, another really interesting episode, and I'm wondering what episode 3 is going to bring us, because the story has got to sort of start coming together at some point. So far we've seen some very basic outlines for like rules of this time travel, but I feel like we need to figure out what other rules there are, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that will be for a future episode. For now, got anything else to say?
No, nothing really.
Okay, so with that said, my name is Skybound.
Start flax.
And we'll see you with the next episode of Steins Gate. Goodbye.
Right.